Okay, so it's pretty late right now. I need to go to bed, and I should have been videoing the cutting process, but I didn't because I'm an idiot. I know Fitz videoed his though, so that's not too bad. So essentially, I've been water loading for the last few days. I need to be 97.5 in my rash guard and shorts, which is about 400 grams. So I need to be 97.1 on a scale. It's not 97.2. It could be delirious now because I'm dehydrated. So water loading since Monday, same water loading process as Fitz. Yesterday I did about 8 or 9 liters. Woke up, didn't weigh myself. I was like 101 and a half on a mechanical scales, which are usually more consistent, but not the most precise when you're trying to view them. So got electric scales or electronic scales, put it down on the floor, and I weighed myself naked. Bear in mind, I've been fasting all day at like 4 tablespoons or 4 teaspoons of almond butter, and I weighed myself and I was 101.6, and I was like, man, there's no way, because I started this water loading at 101 because I cut a lot of carbs, and that was a mistake we'll talk about later. But I started at 101.6, and I was like, fuck. So I went outside to get a Rogue change plate, 1.5 kilos, to see if it was accurate. And then I weighed myself again because the minimum weight was too low, so I just wanted to weigh myself with and went up the plate, and it was 98.8, and I was like, yes. So I weighed myself with it. The scale was reading the change plate is 1.5. I measured it on a kitchen scales, which I know to be accurate, and that was 1.48 or something. And I weighed my mechanical scales 1.5. So my scales is accurate, thank God. I know you'd think a brand new scales for a reasonable price, like €50, would be accurate, but you never know with these things. You don't take the risk. So 98.8, still pacing like 7 or 8 times today, and I might have woken up below that 97. Last week Fitz, on the day of his fasting, was 4 kilos over, and he woke up something like 4 kilos, if you saw the video, without doing any kind of water cutting. However, I didn't want to take that risk, and I didn't want to have to do the water cutting in the morning, so I did 20 minutes. There's a good study comparing water cutting for combat athletes. They were actually looking for the use of hot baths with or without salts, magnesium salts in the hot bath to see if it would make a difference. It did make a difference, but I did use their protocol, which was 20 minutes in the bath, and then they had 38 degrees. My bath was like 44 degrees, and then 40 minutes in a hot towel wrap. Both times I lost about 600 grams. So I went from 98.8 to 98.2. And then actually the second time I lost a kilo, which was good because it was a little bit hotter, and I was pissing sweat after, and I really wrapped myself in a lot of towels. And then the dogs lay down on me on the ground, which was even better. So I lost more weight. So got down to 97.2. Weighed myself with my rash guard and my shorts, 97.6, which is just 100 grams overweight. I'd very likely wake up lighter than 97.2 tomorrow. I've had some capfuls of pink Lucozade Zero Sugar, and it is delicious. So this is the lightest I've been, lighter than even my diarrhea in Uzbekistan. So this is the lightest I've been in something like, this is 2022. I don't think I've been this light in 7 years. I think this is the lightest I've been in 7 years. This is definitely the lightest I've been in 7 years, which is pretty crazy. I got a 240 last weekend, so we'll see. Might do the squat on Sunday and see, but I won't be 97 kilos after. The weigh-ins aren't that long before your fight, so I will be sculling some stuff tomorrow, which you'll see. And okay, Fitz, I know, was very light as well. I think he said he's like 92.4, so you'll see his side of the video as well. Apologies for not fitting the full thing, because I know it would have been interesting, and I would like to watch it, and I like watching those weight cutting videos. Fitz got his though, and he's generally quite good to record his own stuff for vlogs, and I should have been doing it. But imagine me wrapped in towels, in a hot bath, back to towels, back to hot bath, back to towels, and then here we are, and hopefully it'll be fine when I weigh in.
So welcome to Sika Stan weight cutting we've had a bit of a false start because it's now 9 o'clock in the evening and we had to cut our way into the bathroom. So my nephews were kind enough to lock the door and break the lock. So that's water bath 1 done. This is the setup. There's like a full cup of Epsom salts. I'm dizzy as fuck. QI on the laptop. Loads of bath toys. I'm very dizzy and my hands are tingling like fuck. So 93.2 or 93.1 getting out of that. 12:47, which is pretty annoying because I think Gerf stayed in for 17:30 where he was doing it. So we were successful in the time it took to watch 1 episode of QI on my laptop. I did a bath, a burrito in a load of towels, and we're on for weight. You want the juice, girl?
Hello. This is that secret juice that Pablo Costa. I'll show you what we're putting in now actually. So obviously myself and Fitz are very hungry, very dehydrated. Fitz's weighing is probably sometime at like 10:30.
Very dehydrated.
And my weighing's not till like 3 o'clock and it's currently 9 o'clock.
No, you've gotten the graveyard shift like.
I got in the graveyard shift. But look, it should all be worth it. There's a defender up there, 21.22. Very nice.
Yeah.
So what we got for
Not as nice as this wagon.
Gymna.
My Hilux morphed into it overnight.
So empty bottles of water.
The suspense is building.
So we've got Redcon Canteen hydration electrolytes. There's a little bit of coconut water and stuff in this, so there's like 5 grams of carbs and stuff. So it's like, yeah, that's okay. And then there's like taurine B6, reasonable amounts of sodium, potassium, bit of zinc, magnesium, vitamin C. It's like electrolyte light. It's like Bud Light, you know, Heineken Zero. It's like barely a thing, but it's okay. Like mostly have it because it's nice.
But it'll do.
Mostly because it's nice to drink, you know.
Gareth, you know in the More Plates, More Dates video when he talked about pipetting being a non-exact science, is this what he talked about?
I think this is what he thought pipetting was. Then we got some sand.
Sand. No wonder my last Jeep rusted so badly.
Oh, now, big thing with salt, right? Normally before any like jiu-jitsu session or aerobic session, I'd have a spoon of salt. But in this scenario, you're at high risk of, I think it's called shitting yourself.
Yeah, it's...
Or puking. So there's like 1/5 of a tablespoon, not even 1/6 to go in here. So just, it's useful to have for sure, but I'd be super cautious on the salt. Really what you're looking for is water and carbs with the salt, you know. You don't want to be wearing a white pajama pants.
A white gi like.
White, yeah. Somewhat translucent.
Yeah.
And
translucent when wet.
And putting yourself at the risk of shatting yourself, you know. And then we have Trek. Now Trek make legit stuff for people who are doing triathlons. A full serving of this is nearly 400 calories. So we actually have, there's a bit of salt in this, actually a gram or so we should be fine. Then dextrose, taurine, sodium, maltodextrin, and potassium, 2 other magnesium, 2 B vitamins. But essentially it's just actual powdered carbohydrates, not like You know, when you see people selling you 0 sugar, 0 salt electrolytes.
Yeah.
So you're like, oh, so it's not electrolytes, it's just tasty water. So we're doing like a scoop of these. This is pineapple flavour. Fitz tried it already.
It's good.
Said it's pretty good. I'd say everything will taste good, to be honest.
I love the owl sherbet dip profile, you know.
I don't know. I'm not sure. I'm not getting a reference.
Do you have those when you were a kid?
Yeah.
Little dip dabs?
Oh, yeah. Oh. Fuck, I'm pouring water out of this one. Edit that out.
Okay, let's go. So this is my first fight.
So we've got. You didn't have a whole lot of training done, to be fair, prior to this.
No.
You can't say this, but I'll say it for you, to be fair. You prior to the run, I think you'd done like 1 or 2 sessions across the whole month, probably, and then I made you do this competition. I was like, come on, you should definitely do it.
No, and it was good that I did the competition.
100%, yeah, without a doubt.
I'm actually watching back at this, I'm pretty happy. So people pulling guard against me is my one thing I really don't like. And I got pulled guard on. I passed his guard and then didn't secure it. So went to this position of north-south, which I didn't get points for, which is kind of annoying because I was happy enough with how I passed, but then got annoyed that I didn't secure his head. And then pulled back into guard again. Then through both his good grip strength and my back strength, we managed to tear my gi apart. So Johnny, our buddy in the crowd, was more than happy to take his top off and give it to me.
Like, as a taller person, taller person, you're just going to have to get used to people pulling guard against you.
Yeah.
Specifically in comps as well, if you're going to cut down to the 92-ish kilo category, it's unlikely you're going to meet other people that often who are 6'1", you know?
Yeah, who'll be happy to stand up and do some stand up.
Like, even if they're really strong and good at stand up, they'll more than likely just pull guard still, you know?
Yeah.
But, you know, we had a good session with Robinho yesterday, you know, and he went through some good stuff about what you do when they're pulling guard, you know, so it's something you'll definitely get used to.
Yeah, that was a really valuable session. You'll be introduced to him later on in the just get swept. You'll be introduced to him later on in the video. So when I get swept here, I'm obviously annoyed, but the 1 or 2 things I had been working on for the last few weeks was like deep half guard. I got him back into my guard there. It would have been great to get a hip bump sweep there, but I actually had my inside grip on that Ezekiel and I just let his head slip out, which is very, very annoying.
Yeah, and you also let go of the full guard.
Yeah.
So you kind of went for a shitty De La Hiva, but you didn't have the leg.
No. This is just a bad position.
He was pretty strong.
He was. He looked jacked in his no-gi attire. He was sitting in front of us in the stands. So it basically all goes downhill from here.
How did you feel conditioning-wise?
Conditioning-wise, I felt great. I think I dumped a lot here at the very end when I'm like sprawling and I get tapped at the end. I dumped a lot there. There's a big adrenaline dump like every time, but being that light definitely made a big difference. Also, first time I had visible abs in a long time. This guy right here is Alejandro. He's overtraining with Galera for a few months. He's the no-gi world champion and was just at ADCC.
They put it up on their Instagram there, they're just waiting for them to turn it off.
A fully intact ankle. A fully intact ankle.
I did miss the first 7 seconds of Gert's fight. As cameraman, I feel very let down, but I feel like I've left you down.
The first 7 seconds?
Yeah.
So I had a chance to do a lot of jiu-jitsu in like the 4 weeks leading up to this, so I took a little bit of downtime from weightlifting. I had him in a guillotine like 3 or 4 times, a standing guillotine. I'm kind of... What happened to me after is what I realised is I just had some serious tunnel vision, so I didn't do any of the things I would normally do in no-gi fights, you know. So typically if a guillotine doesn't work for me, what I normally do here is an over-the-shoulder throw, and like it's worked very effectively, like on people heavier than me, like Fitz, people who are taller than me.
Works on everyone, yeah.
It just literally rolled back and showed them over, you know, and it's something I didn't do. Fitz even said when he was watching, he was like expecting me.
I just thought at any moment you'd do that throw.
I was waiting for myself to do it, but I just didn't do it, you know.
This is Galera, our coach, Sika Strength's only sponsor, our first athlete to be sponsored.
So typically, I would normally do it, and I was waiting for myself to do it, but the tunnel vision just locked in really hard. I wasn't nervous. I didn't have any adrenaline or dump. Conditioning was good. I could do 6 or 7 rounds at the moment very well. So it was just literally a day of bad jiu-jitsu for me. He was just better than me on the day. I made some poor decisions. I did not go for any takedowns. So the game plan, or the outline, is like takedowns and stay on top, and then work for a darce. I've done a lot of darces recently quite successfully, against a different range of people. So there was something I was working really well, from a darce from side controller from full mount. But I just kind of got the tunnel vision. I felt great after the weight loss in terms of conditioning. Like, I wasn't gassed or anything any more than I would be for a really tough fight like this.
That was a great scramble, by the way.
Yeah. I came up on top so many times. I just made so many bad decisions, looking at it.
Another great reversal there.
So, like, watching this back, I'm actually a lot happier, because while I was in the fight, I thought it was a lot worse. But looking this, I'm happier how it was, because it felt like he was more in control, but you just have that perception. But I am annoyed at the decisions I made, but I'm very motivated again to do the next competition, because the more competitions you do, the better you get. The way I like in this, I can feel where I am right now in terms of my jiu-jitsu progress, and I've been here before for regards to weightlifting. So this is like my second competition, and I'm missing 70 kilo snatches. I know I should be making them, but I don't know why I'm not making them. And it's, there's that Musashi quote from the Book of the Five Rings, you see the way broadly, and that's where I see myself at the moment in jiu-jitsu. I understand how I need to get, I understand where I need to get to, I understand how I need to get there, but I don't know what I need to do in that outline. But I understand where I am right now, so I'm not annoyed at I lost. I'm just impatient to continue doing what I want to do with it, So I'm just like, okay, I know where I am with jiu-jitsu. I don't have any illusions of where I am right now, but I know where I could end up, and I just need to do the things I need to do. So it's I'm super motivated, but I still have a lot of weighting I want to do, so I just have to kind of pick my battles in relation to how often I can train jiu-jitsu and stuff, but luckily I still learn a lot every time jiu-jitsu. This is the start of our 10th month of jiu-jitsu, I think. So every month that goes by, you're like increasing our jiu-jitsu knowledge by huge percentages, just by being introduced to something new, or even, let alone rolling obviously adds a huge amount to jiu-jitsu, but someone can be literally just expose you to something brand new. There's like totally new concepts. So it's
we're in a very lucky position as well with Galera.
Yes.
Where we can just be like, Galera, what's the story with this? And he'll spend 30 minutes with us going through it. And then obviously having Alejandro over as well makes a massive difference.
And like, there's in BJJ Cork, there's Liam Beechner, so he's like one of Ireland's best jiu-jitsu players. Spent an hour with us, and he's open mat in his gym the week before, who's like very giving with his time. You find a lot of higher belts are incredibly giving with their time, if you give off the right vibes, and then very lucky in that regard.
We also have to mention the elephant in the room, the fact that it's a Sika Strength vlog and Rambo's not here.
And Rambo's not here, yeah. Well, Rambo's in Korea.
Rambo's in Korea.
Yeah.
Learning how to be a better butt scooter. So he'll be back soon.
Yeah, hopefully with better jiu-jitsu.
Thanks very much for watching.